Hey guys, how are you? Thank you very much for joining us. I know that we're going through some very, very tough times, right? It's a situation which goes completely different, everything that we have ever seen, right? And we have been working a lot over the past weeks in order to build up something to you guys, right? Something that will not it, that it will help you guys go through this tough time, right? And we know how important it is for each of you guys to stay at home. Some of you guys are abroad. Some of you have just returned from your trip. And what we want to do is give you guys the ability to improve your English skills, learn from the best. You will see Roberto is a amazing teacher. He has been teaching English for over the past 35 years. So he has a...
Don't say that.
I'm sorry. I'm telling your age, right?
Yes.
I apologize. But one thing that we want to tell you guys
10 years is okay.
Is that every day for the following 14 days, we will give you guys a different lesson. Okay. So the lessons that you guys are going to have today, it will not be the same as the lessons that we will teach you guys tomorrow. Okay, so we're changing on the daily basis a topic. And every time that I'm sending you guys an email with the link for the meeting and also the material so you can download, I will let you know in advance what will be the topic for that specific lesson. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. I do appreciate that a lot. You know, we have put a lot of effort in trying to come up on a very fast-paced class. This is the first time that Roberto is teaching English as a second language on an online platform, you know, so we had to came up with the solution, with the material, with the whole dynamic of the class. So it was a huge challenge for us. I hope you guys enjoy it and count on us for your future endeavors. Okay, thank you very much. Roberto, I leave it with you. Thank you.
Thanks for the nice introduction. Welcome you all. I'd like to say that, as Bruno has already mentioned, this is the first time I'm doing this on an online basis. I have really got some experience on a face-to-face basis. So I would love to have time to have a chat with all of you, to get to know you better, to learn more about you. But online, we have to do things differently, okay? So what is the idea? What has Descubra o Mundo decided to do? First, you have to stay home. You have to stay safe. So we are going to do something to help you spend your time, maybe learn something. I'm sure that if you come to class every day, you're going to learn a lot, okay? And every day we'll be talking about a different topic. Every day we'll be discussing a different thing. I would like to start reviewing some of the points that I consider difficult, even for advanced students. As I said, I have given classes instead of universities. I have given classes to professors, to business people, CEOs, all sorts of people, all walks of life, big cheese, fat cats. And it's funny, they all make the same mistakes. Many people say, oh, I have studied for 20 years. My English is perfect. And then when we start talking, I listen to the same mistakes over and over again. So I'm going to start with something that seems to be easy, but you will probably discover.
Just one thing, Roberto.
Yeah.
Well, I will kindly ask you to mute your, or maybe Vanya. I don't know right now, the person. I will kindly ask all you guys to mute your microphone, please. There you go. I think it was Vanya. Vanya, can you please mute your microphone? Thank you very much.
I can't do that. She has already done that.
Let me check. Bear with me a minute, please. Nah, Vanya's microphone's still open. Can you mute her, please?
Yeah. No, I can't. It doesn't appear here.
You need just to roll over. Vanya, can you hear us? Are you able to mute your microphone, please?
Could you hear me right now?
Yes, yes. I'm
Yeah.
able to see you right now.
Your microphone. Yes.
Your microphone
Yes.
is open.
Yeah, yes.
I'm sorry. Can you mute it? And then if you guys want to interact during the lesson, it's fine. But once Roberto is explaining, you know, the background noise makes a lot of, it makes more difficult.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
As I'm going to start the class, you guys can observe that there is at the bottom of the page here a chat button. If you have a question, if I say something and you're not following me, just click there, write whatever you want. Bruno's going to read it and we can discuss it. All right, deal? Can we start?
Okay. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you what we'll be talking about today. And I'm sure most of the problems you have are going to be here. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. All right. So as I said, most of the mistakes that Brazilians usually make are concerned with this, the use of the simple past and the use of the present perfect. Many people say, oh, I can use present perfect. Oh, yeah. And then after 5 minutes of conversation, you realize that they know what is present perfect, but they really don't know how to use it. Okay? So that's what I'm going to try to clear all your doubts concerning that today, so you will be able to improve your foundation of English. And this can also be good for any proficiency test that you might have to take one day. All right? So basically what we are going to study today is this: the use of the simple past, the idea, the use of the present perfect, the ideas, other uses, differences, exercises, and so on. Okay? So just keep following with me and we'll start. Okay, right here, using the simple past. Well, as Bruno has already said, I have some experience in teaching, okay, he said 35 years. Let's keep it quiet and let's say 35 years. That's good enough. I have been doing this for most of my life. So what happens here? If you start talking to me about anything, books, movies, places in the world, museums, I have been to most big cities in the world. I have been to practically all the museums in the world. I love going to a museum. I have read hundreds and hundreds of books. The problem is, as you get older, you do remember things. You do remember even the taste of things. But the problem is, I myself don't remember when I did that. And that's the problem. You can only use the simple past when you remember the action and the time you did it. Both things are together. If you're having a chat with an American or a British guy or any other native speaker of English and you say, oh, I saw this movie, the first question he or she is going to ask you is, really? When? And then you say, yeah, I don't remember. If you don't remember, that means you didn't express yourself correctly. Because you said, I saw this movie. I saw means in a definite time in the past.
Yes.
Understand? And then you don't remember. So you're not right. And that is what happens to most Brazilians. They use a lot simple past, especially if the verb is regular, because it's not necessary to memorize the different form. And it's not possible. Every time you use a verb in the simple past, you must say when the action happened. I could even say, for example, I saw the movie E.T. when I was a little boy. Maybe that was like 45 or 50 years ago. But by using when I was a little boy gives the time expression that is necessary to be in the simple past. Can you understand what I'm saying? Okay?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes, perfectly.
Good. Thank you. Okay. So if you, there is somebody listening to music there, it's louder than me. Okay, pay attention to this first case. We should also use the simple past to talk about finished events in the past that have no connection with the present. So you can say, I don't know when Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa. That's okay. You don't have to know. But Leonardo has already, he died a long time ago, maybe before even I was born. Okay? And if you ask Google, Google might tell you when he painted. So this is a historical event. For historical events, we can always use simple past. Like Chinese invented the paper. I don't know when, but I can find out. But it's different. You cannot say, oh, I went to New York. When? I don't know. That is wrong, because that's a personal thing that you did in the past. And you should only use the simple past if you do remember the time. Is that clear? Yes?
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Okay, good. Look at number 2, please. Every time I have a time expression like yesterday, last week, 5 years ago, 25 years ago, it doesn't matter. I can even say 1965. That's okay. It's simple past. I went to the cinema yesterday. We visit Japan in 2007. Okay? I always joke. I say that usually parents, father and mother, they like to use simple past, especially when the daughter or the son comes back home. They start the interrogation. Where did you go? What time did you get there? Who did you talk to? What time did you leave? What did you drink? What did you eat? Because they are interested in everything. Everything is important for a father and mother. But that's not important when you're just talking to a stranger. Okay, you're not going to say, oh, did you see this movie? Did you read this book or something like that? No, that's the next case that we are going to talk. Now, when I start telling you a story that happened at some time, I can start a story like last Saturday. After that, I can go all the way down. And here is also a problem. Many Brazilians, they start like, last Saturday, my friends and I, we went to the mall. We drink a lot. If you're telling me a story in the past, and then you say we drink, you see, you must preserve all the verbs in the past, from the beginning to the end. He went to a cafe. He sat down and lit a cigarette. Yesterday, I went to the library, met a friend for lunch, and played tennis. You see, everything is in the past because you're telling a story, a sequence of events that happened at some time in the past. Okay? Now, observe this is interesting. Number 4. Oh, I've hurt my leg. Present perfect. I've hurt. I'm not telling you when. It's something that happened. And I'm using here, I've hurt, because my leg is still in pain, is still sore. Okay? So I've hurt my leg. The consequence was I fell off a ladder when I was painting my bedroom. So when I was painting my bedroom is the time expression. That's why this sentence here is in the simple past. And I've hurt my leg because it's still painful. If it's not painful, if I don't feel anything in my leg, I could just say, I fell off a ladder when I was painting my bedroom and hurt my leg. Right? But that means the leg now is okay, which is not the case. The second example, I've been on holiday. I've been on holiday, it means my holiday is still going on. It's not over. I went to Spain and Portugal, and probably I'll go to Italy, I will go to France, I'll go to Belgium, if they let me cross the borders, of course. Okay? Understand this? Maybe this was a little more difficult than the others, but can you get the idea? One part of it is in the present perfect because the action is still going on. The second part is no, that Spain and Portugal, I have already visited. Okay? Can I go on?
Okay.
Roberto, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
We have one question here. It's a great question from
Shoot it.
Lydia. So there you go. She's asking, can I say I am on holiday?
Yes, yes. If you're telling me about your present status, you can say I'm on holiday. My intention of saying I've been on holiday is that it's not now. It started like a couple weeks ago, and I have a couple more weeks to go. I'm in the middle of it, understand? So if I ask you like in a normal conversation, are you working? No, I'm on holiday. Perfect. Understand?
Yes,
Was that
okay.
clear or no?
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
clear. Thank you.
No problem at all.
Guys,
Any other
do it.
question? I'm here.
Do it like Lydia did, right? So if you have any questions at all during the presentation, just type in the chat. And as soon as I can, I will read that to Roberto, and then he can explain to all of you guys, okay? Thanks.
Okay.
Don't
Keep sharing with us. Don't be shy.
don't be shy. Just write whatever you want. Okay? Just don't offend my mother, right? She's in peace. Just write everything else. Okay? Let's go on. Sometimes, and this is a more complex, we are going to have one entire lesson about conditional sentences, okay? Because that's really, really tough thing. But it can also be used as part of a second conditional. If I won the lottery, I would buy a house in Chelsea. If she knew his number, she would call him. But don't worry about this part very much because one entire class is only going to be about conditional sentence. But if you observe, if I had money, if I were rich, okay, I would do something. It's always like that, okay? But don't worry about this part for now. We'll come back here. So please avoid questions about conditional sentence at this point, okay? Let's go to the other part now. That's when the problems start. You see, using the present perfect. When should we use the present perfect? This is one, that's not only my opinion, but this is one of the most difficult tenses to use correctly. And I hope that today's class is going to help you a lot. First, the formation. Present perfect is formed with the verb to have, which is an auxiliary verb in this case, plus the past participle of the main verb of the sentence for I, you, we, and they. And for the third person, he, she, and it, it's formed using has plus the past participle of the main verb. If the main verb is regular, the past participle is just like the past, like worked, worked. But if the verb is irregular, you might have to memorize the third column of the verbs, the irregular verbs, like go, went, gone. Be, was, were, been, okay? And that is already a problem. So you have an example here for each one of the pronouns. I've been to that place before. You have worked hard this week. She has never been abroad. She has always lived in that house. We have met them before. You have bought the house. They have just gotten or got. Depending on where you are, you can use both. Okay, gotten or got as the past participle for the verb to get. They have just gotten married. That's what they write at the back of the card, just married. The complete sentence is, we have just gotten married, okay? But they just write, just married. No problem about this part? Any question? Just type in if you have any question. I can slow down or I can just skip to the next part.
Roberto, may I ask you a
Yes.
question?
Sure.
You said that got and gotten use in the same tense for the same use got
Past tense
or
of
gotten?
get. Yes, yes, both are correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If you check a list of irregular verbs, you will find get, got, or in parentheses, you have gotten. Okay. I think maybe Bruno can explain this because Bruno is almost British. I think in England they prefer gotten than got, right, Bruno, or no?
Exactly. Exactly.
So
I didn't know
if
that.
you plan to go, yes, if you plan to go to the US, where I grew up, or if you plan to go to Canada, because I used to live 2 hours away from Vancouver, Canada, they prefer got. That's why I put it there in parentheses. But both are absolutely correct, okay?
Nice, thank you.
My pleasure. Take a look here. Present perfect. When do we use? All right. I don't know if you guys observed the examples that I gave above. Here, all of them. Can you see any time expression in any of these examples? Please tell me that you can. Did you find any time expression there, Bruno?
Now, we don't have any examples yet. Guys, feel free to share with us.
I
Okay.
gave some examples.
This week,
Thank you. I was expecting somebody would notice that.
We have another one, no time expression.
Okay. But this week is a time expression. Okay? But that was an excellent point. I was going to discuss this. That's why I put it there. It was intentional, believe me. You can say this week is a time expression, so I should use simple past. Right? No, wrong. If you think about what I said concerning the simple past is used to describe an action that happened at some time in the past. This week, is it past or present?
Present.
Present.
See? So if I ask you, did you work hard this week? That's a mistake. Classical. Sometimes I'm looking for a person in my company. So I'm walking around and then I start asking, hey, did you see John today? Did you see John? Did you see Mary today? Is that right or wrong in your opinion?
Wrong. The right is have you seen?
Thank you. You got the idea. Today is present, right? And that's what the Brazilians do. They think in Portuguese. And then they come up with things like this. Did you see John today? That's not possible. Have you seen John today? I can even reply to that saying, yes, I saw him 5 minutes ago in the cafeteria. 5 minutes ago. That's past. Oh, no, I haven't. I saw him yesterday, but I haven't seen him today, right? So be very careful when you use expressions of time like today, this week, this month, this year. This is present. This year, we are in March. So have you seen your dentist this year? I went to my dentist last week. Have you seen yours this year? Not did you see or did you go, right? Because this year is present, okay? So thank you for listening. Let's pay attention here. Present perfect tense. When do we use unfinished actions or situations? For instance, I have an example here. I've known Julie for 10 years. I met her 10 years ago, and I still know her. We have lived here since 2004. Okay? That means we still live in the same place. Right? When I was young, I had a girlfriend. Her name was Raimunda, whatever. It was such a long time ago that I don't even remember. But anyway, I went out with Raimunda for 3 years. So if I say I went out with her for 3 years, how is my relationship with Raimunda today? Is it like this, or like this? I have no idea about her. What do you think?
It's finished.
Finished. I don't even know if she's dead or alive. I know
Yeah.
nothing about her.
Separate.
Understand the case? I went out with her for 3 years, but I don't know anything about her nowadays. I got married a long time ago, and I have been with my wife for 35 years. So I, observe, have been with my wife for 35 years. It means we got married 35 years ago and we are still together. Okay? It's an action that has not finished. Okay? In this case, we always use for a period of time, 35 years, or we can use since and the starting point, since 1983, since 1984. Okay? Understand this? Now I'm here. Finished actions or situations. In this example here, I've been to Mexico. She has never studied Japanese. It's very common to use never and ever in questions. Have you ever seen the rain coming down? Sunny day. I've been to Mexico. When? I don't know, but I've been there. Okay? Another important thing is when you use simple past, simple means simple action. So if you say, I went to Mexico 5 times. 5 times? It's possible, but it would be necessary to remember all the dates. Do you think it's possible? Quite difficult. So every time you have a repeated action, we insist that you use present perfect. Like, I've been to Mexico 5 times. That's it. You want to go to the movies? What are they showing? Braveheart. No, thanks. I've seen that movie. I've seen the movie. That means I don't want to go because I have seen the movie. I don't even remember when, but I've seen it. This is present perfect. Okay? And maybe some of you are very young and you remember exactly when you saw the movie, when you read a certain book. So it doesn't mean that you have to use present perfect. You can say, I saw that movie last week. I read that book 5 years ago, but that's not my case. I'm on the older side. So I remember always. I have a good memory for faces. I have a good memory for tastes. Sometimes I eat something and I say, I've had this before. Maybe I don't even remember the name, but the taste is familiar to me. So I've had this before. Understand what I'm trying to say? Yes?
Okay. Yes, okay.
Good. Let's continue here. Unfinished time word. That was the case of this week we talked about previously. We've seen Lucy this week. She's had lunch today. This is present, not past. And this, believe me, is the most classical mistake committed by all Brazilians at all levels of English. Okay? And last but not least, we have here present result. That was the case of the leg. I've hurt my leg and it's still painful now. I've lost my keys. I still don't have them. I can't go out because I've lost my keys. Understand? Every time you use it means that at this present time, you don't have it with you. John has missed the bus. Has missed the bus. So he'll be late. I've already done my homework. You see? It's not even, no reference to time. It's done. That's why when you are doing a test in a classroom, the teacher says, okay, you have an hour to do your test. After sometimes he or she will probably say, finished. The complete question would be, have you finished your test? But of course, we sometimes are lazy and then we just say, finished. Understand? But not, did you finish? Because I don't care if you finished your test 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, or at this minute. What I want to know is if you have finished or not, okay? Typical cases of using present perfect. Any problem here, or can I go to the next part?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so here we have more thoroughly explanation about everything I have just mentioned. We use this, blah, 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 blah. The use of since and for, I have already told you. Since is always prior, before a date. Since 1992, since I was a child, since 2 p.m. And for is always before a period of time, for 2 hours, for 10 years, for 6 weeks, okay? Now, here you have life experiences. We don't say when the experience happened, just sometime in the past. I always tell my students, I wish I had a chart to draw something here for you. Imagine something like this. You were born at a certain date in the past. Today, you are here. If something happened in your life between the day you were born and today, and you want to talk about these, you should use present perfect if you don't remember the time. Certain things, you have to remember the time. For example, I got married in 1986, because if I don't remember that, my wife is going to kill me. Understand? So I remember the day I got married. So I'm not going to say, I have gotten married, okay? Because I do remember the time. My first son was born in 1987. I remember when that happened. So I don't use present perfect. But the rest, I've been to more than 35 different countries in my life. Okay? So present perfect. All right? A very common, you have a question here. Have you ever, many students have told me that their teachers told them that ever is the same of always, which is totally BS, bullshit. That's not correct. Ever means one day in your life. One day in your life is not always. That's why many times American or a native speaker of English asks a Brazilian, have you ever been here? And they say, ever? No, just once. If the answer is no, just once, so it's wrong. It's yes, I have. Because ever is one day in your life. That's why it's very commonly used in questions. Have you ever seen the Mona Lisa? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Okay? So you have lots of examples here. I've lost my keys, so I can't get into my house. She's hurt her leg. She's hurt her leg in the present perfect, which means she can't play tennis today because the leg is hurt. Understand this? I'm highlighting for you. They've missed the bus. Well, so they'll be late. I've cooked dinner, so you could come and eat because I have already prepared. Okay? No problem here. Can I go on? Here, I have already mentioned all these, this month, this week, today. I haven't seen her this month. She's drunk 3 cups of coffee today. Coffee, remember. Or you can go into a cafe and say, can I have a coffee? And the guy will go like, anything else? Cough is cough, 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 cough. If you start coughing, go see your doctor. Might be dangerous nowadays. What you drink is coffee. Yeah.
We have one question here.
What?
Can I
Shoot
say
it.
they went to Paris 3 times?
No,
Why?
because it's a repeated action. Even if it's in the past. Repeated action, I don't use simple past. Okay? Unless you say they went to Paris 3 times last week. That would be okay.
Okay. On this
Right?
case, then,
But
I'm sorry.
no, what I was trying to say is, if the action happened in a certain period of time, like I've met Mary 5 times this week to discuss this, it's possible. Or I met her 5 times last week to discuss this. This week, I've met. Last week, I met. But it's in 1 week. But I went to Paris 3 times. If it was a different dates, it's not possible. The correct would be, I've been to Paris. Okay? Like, I've been
Got it.
to New York about 12 times throughout my life. Altogether, it's like 12 times. Understand? So I don't remember all of them. That's why we should use present perfect.
Brilliant.
Another
Roberto.
question?
No, not yet. We
Yeah.
don't have any more questions, not yet at least. And we still
Okay.
have 10 minutes, so we will need to wrap up. If you could go through
I will.
a little bit faster and maybe
Okay.
do some examples. Okay?
Okay.
Some exercises, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Just to finish here, observe this last example. This week, they've been shopping 4 times. That's okay because this week is present and I use present perfect. But observe this example here. I've seen him yesterday. Oh my God, that even hurts my ears. I've seen him yesterday. Yesterday is a definite time in the past, so I saw him yesterday. Okay? Good? Now, just to wrap up, as Bruno said, another classical problem is you are in front of a native speaker of English, and then you ask this man or this woman, have you gone to New York? The guy's going to look at you like, what the are you talking about? If the guy is standing in front of you, how can you ask him, have you gone? You're thinking in Portuguese. That's a typical Brazilian thinking in Portuguese. If the guy's in front of you, he cannot be gone. Gone is either going to a place or there. Like, I called my house a few minutes ago because I needed to talk to my wife. And our maid told me, she's not here, she's gone to the market. That's okay, because she's gone to the market. Understand? She's either driving to the market or at the market. If the person is in front of you, and you want to know like a Brazilian, você já foi? Please never say, have you gone? It's, have you been? Have you been to New York? Yes, I have. This is really a classical one. Okay, that's why I decided to include here. You see, I've been to Paris in my life, but now I am in London. She has been to school today, but now she's at home. Where's John? He's gone to the shops. Julie has gone to Mexico. That means she is in Mexico, all right? And here you have a summary of the differences that you can just go over side by side. Okay, I've known Julie for 10 years. That means I still know her. I knew Julie. Two possible things. She's dead. I don't know her anymore. Or she moved away and I lost contact. Understand? So in this case, there are two possibilities. The same here. My brother has been to Mexico 3 times. My great-grandmother went to Mexico 3 times, blah, 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 blah. Okay? But she's dead. Oh, she's not alive anymore. And now, just to wrap up, I would, of course, give you some exercises. And I promise you, try to do them for your own good. And tomorrow, when Bruno sends you the new link for tomorrow's class, which is going to be different of today's class, I will also send you the answers to all these exercises. Okay? But
Okay.
I'd like to do some of them with you. For instance, please try to use your chat and try to answer with the correct form of the verb number 7 for me, please. Is it, how would you answer? How would you say this? Let's see who's going to be the first to give me the right answer. Come
Fernando.
on, time is money.
We are doing question number 7. So guys, just to rephrase here and to also double check, Roberto is asking for the answer from the question number 7. Okay, it's not the first one, it's 7. Okay, so we already have a few
Number 7.
insights in here. So there you go. The first one is I knew. And then all the other ones, they agreed with each other. So I knew.
Perfect answer. Why is it I knew my great-grandmother for a few years? Because she died. Understand? Okay? One more, just to finish. Let me pick a good one here.
Get a tricky one.
Okay. Okay. Now, this one is better. 19. Any answers?
Yes, we do. We have quite a few. So the first one, the first person said, she has lived. And then she has lived again, has lived. They all agree with each other. So we have 6 answers here. And then we have one person said lives.
Okay, I'd like to talk to this person. I really don't know who said that. She lived in London since 2005, and the sentence stops there. So based on this, it is possible to conclude that she has not moved out. She still lives there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's necessary to use the present perfect. She has lived and not she lived. Understand? If I continue like, she lived in London for many years, but at the last terrorist attack, she got killed. Then that's it, finished her time in London. Then I would use simple past. Okay?
Awesome. We just got one other question here from a different speaker. It's a great question, actually. He says, could I say has been living?
Yes. This is a topic for an entire class. We will be discussing in advanced level, of course, the differences in use between present perfect. Today, we only talked about the simple present perfect. This is present perfect continuous, right? So both I have lived or I have been living are okay depending on you. Probably only you know what is the right answer. Why am I saying that? I have been living inside of my brain. I understand that this is a temporary situation. I don't intend it to stay here forever. When you say I have lived, I think of it as a permanent situation in my life. But this is advanced English, and there is another class that we will talk about this in more details, okay? The only thing that would make your sentence incorrect was if you had the word always. I have always been living in this house. Then it would be incorrect because always gives the idea of a permanent situation in your life, and then only the simple present perfect is possible. I have always lived here, okay? Not the continuous. All right? Any questions? I don't know if we have time, but I'd like to say that it was a pleasure having you all here. I hope I was able to clear some of your doubts. Okay, I can check them tomorrow if you come back again. And what I can tell you is, believe me, most advanced students that I have had in more than 35 years, Bruno said 35, let's keep it 35, made mistakes in this particular area. I even got tired of listening to mistakes, okay? So please study this, dedicate some time, do the exercise. Tomorrow I'll give you the answers. And if you have any further question, I will be more than glad to answer them all, okay? Thank you very much for joining. Stay home, stay safe, and tomorrow I'll see you again. Bruno, please.
One thing, just before we wrap up, and then everyone could go to, you know, go home. Actually, you guys are all home, right? But you can just go and
I hope you are home
and so on. So basically, as this is our first time, this is the first time that we have been teaching English as a second language through an online platform, right? Descubra Mundo, as you guys know, you guys booked with us an exchange program. Everything that we do is 100% online, right? We love the technology. We love to add the best of both worlds, which is the online plus this great customer service, the experience, and so on, right? So what we will kindly ask you guys, we're gonna send you guys a survey, what we call NPS, which is a Net Promoted Score, right? It will be really, really helpful if you could all reply to that, because it will give us some insights and will help us to tailor these lessons a bit more, you know. And then during this period, it will be really, really great to work on customer data to develop an even better product for you guys, okay? So once again, thank you very much for everyone. We really, really enjoyed, and I hope you guys have all enjoyed as well, okay? Thank you very much. Cheers, have a good evening.
Can I just say one more thing?
Please, Roberto.
Take advantage of the survey that Bruno is going to send you. And please, if you have any suggestion for a class, we are more than glad to hear from you. You know, like, Roberto, I've always had doubts concerning this point. Could you clear this for me? I'm sure I can do that. Just let me know what your doubts are, or if you want to discuss something more specific, we'll be here to help you, okay? Stay home, stay safe, take care. Hope to see you guys tomorrow, because I have nothing to do but to wait for you guys. Okay, bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you for everything.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing. Okay,
Aula.
bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.